Hello people, welcome to the Gamers of Nations and the Gaming Potato. Yesterday it was, I went to Eurogamer in London and Fred went on yesterday and Friday. You know who Fred is if you watch Gamers of Nations. And this is just sort of my view on the expo. Now I'm going to keep it a bit short because I feel like shit today. I've written some stuff down on a few pages, so yeah, I'm just gonna say about the games I played and yeah. Games I played: Just Dance 3, no, Dance Central 3, Just Dance 4, Forza 4 in a sort of driver seat, steering wheel type thing, Halo 4, Race Driver Grid 2, Crysis 3, and Forza Horizon. Dance Central 3, I thought it was improved technically over Dance Central 2. It was much more responsive. It had quite a lot more varying actions. And for people who were new to the game, because I did it with someone who hadn't played before, it was fairly easy for them to pick up. The only problems I found with it just felt like an expansion pack. There was nothing new added, so to say. It was just new songs and better responses. That was pretty much it. Just Dance 4 was probably one of the worst games there. It literally was Just Dance 3, but it was less responsive. There was very little variation in the music on offer, and it was, aside from actually downgrading itself, it was literally just an expansion pack. Now, I expect them to change because even though it's not going to be long until they come out, this is of course Eurogamer demo versions, so I'm expecting all the bad stuff to be fixed by the time every single one of these games is out. I expect them to be perfect. The bad points won't necessarily be there if you get the game when it's out. Next up was Forza 4 in the cockpit. I don't know what they call it, driver's seat, whatever. It's more review, it's more sort of like about the driver's seat rather than the game, because everybody knows what the game's like. It's out. It's been out for, what, a year? Anyway, it was very responsive, had good gear shifting, I think it was very comfortable, it had good force feedback from underneath the car on the steering wheel. It was very comfortable. Everything was in nice to reach positions. It didn't feel like you was having to reach for something. It's always within finger and thumb space, which was very well designed. And even in manual, which sometimes on controls and sometimes even on other steering wheels can be quite a problem. But this had a choice of two. You could either do it by the pedals, you could either do the clutch and shift gears, or you could just do it by the gears on, so you didn't have to worry about the clutch. Next up, Halo 4. That's what I went to Eurogamer for. And let's just say there are two bad points I had about it. And that stuff will be fixed by the time the game's out. The graphics were immensely improved. I mean, I was surprised how much they had improved. They had also improved sound. It didn't sound like Halo 3, but it didn't sound like Reach. It had that sci-fi feel to it that sounds realistic, you know what I mean? It had a very good weapon balance, especially in the game I was in, because literally everyone was using a different weapon. Battle rifle was very good at long range. Assault rifle very good at close to medium range. Shotguns were quite good at close range. However, I did find that scatter shot was underpowered actually. I don't know whether they've nerfed it in the last story. It was incredibly underpowerful when I used it. It took about 7 shots to kill someone at close range. So hopefully that will be sorted out. The new armor abilities were really, really good, and I like the fact that springs are now constantly on the character. It gives the game a much faster feel like Halo 3 had, rather than Reach is rather slow kind of matchmaking. The only problems I had was the map we played on. I didn't like it. And that you was only allowed to play one multiplayer map. So that's stuff that will be fixed when it's released on disc, because one, there will be more than one map, and two, because your games you'll be able to play more than one. Next up, Grid 2, which was, I never played the original Race Driver Grid, and I was told that I like my racing games, so play Grid 2. So I'm like, okay, I'll play it. The graphics were among the best I saw at the Expo. They were amazing. It went for a realistic approach, and you could tell that it wasn't realistic. It's hard to explain without actually seeing it. It looked so damn good that you know it wasn't real, but it was trying to be. And that's not a bad thing, if you know what I mean. It struck the right balance between being real and not being real. And also destruction physics, like there was literally stuff dropping off the cars. And it would litter the raceway. Literally, if you were to hit that stuff, you would spin off. You would, it could potentially damage your car. You had to watch out for the environment, the other cars around you, and debris laying around on the track. It was incredibly fast, and I think there was about 10 cars in the race, so there was lots going on. The only problems I had with it, which I hear were problems from the first game as well, so I hope they fix it, is the car was incredibly drifty. It was like it was on ice the entire time. You would be going around the corner at about 50 miles an hour, and you would just slide. It wouldn't turn. It would just slide into the barrier. And another problem I had, it was fairly buggy. Like if you would just about clip one of the edges, it would bring you to a dead halt sometimes. Other times the brakes wouldn't work. Steering wouldn't work sometimes. It was just. But of course, this is a demo version, so I expect this stuff to be fixed. Crysis 3. I was looking forward to this. Good things. I like the bow and arrow. It was a very good weapon. Other than that, it was all the weapons from previous Crysis games that I had seen. The game mode I played was an infection style game mode. You all started off as cell agents, and two people began as hunters, like in nanosuits, and they had bows and arrows, and they were invisible. And the cell agents had to protect themselves from the people, and the people had to hunt them down and kill them. It was incredibly fast-paced. I managed to survive 2 entire rounds, so I don't know whether the people I was playing with were just shit or whether I was just naturally good at the game. So when I did actually die, I only got to use the bow and arrow once or twice, and it was a very good weapon. It had good bonuses. Like if you didn't go all the way, it was just like drop off. It had drop off on it. It felt powerful. If you were using a gamepad, I was using a PC keyboard and mouse setup for quite a while until the last couple of rounds when I decided to use the controller just to see how it felt. It was very well made, the sort of feedback, the controllers and stuff like that. All worked very well for the game. PC controls were very much readed, but they were very, very good. I don't know how to word it. I had a problem with Crysis 2's PC controls, and Crysis 1 at times I had problems with the controls, but on Crysis 3 it just felt natural. So whether they've taken aspects from other shooters and put it into that, or whether I don't know, whether I've just got used to it, I don't know. The only problem I had with it, there was very little graphical improvement, which I found surprising, considering I played Crysis 2 on an Xbox, and I'm playing Crysis 3 on the top end PC. I didn't really notice any graphical improvement, and I found that a bit off-putting. And I'm not a person who goes for graphics, but when you have a game like Crysis that goes for graphics, it felt a bit, you've worked it up for nothing. Lastly, Forza Horizon, which was easily the worst game I played for the show. There was no graphical improvement, Forza 4, which had very good graphics, and Forza Horizon I actually felt downgraded the graphics, it didn't look as good. For a game that claimed to be fairly open worlded, it's still incredibly linear. There was a couple of times where you could take a small dirt corner rather than the slightly longer concrete corner. Apart from that, there was no difference. And the vehicle handling was incredibly poor. It felt like, it did admittedly feel like Forza handling, but when you put Forza handling onto roads with other cars to move out of the way, it just really didn't work. Hopefully that will be sorted by the time it comes out next month. I very much doubt it will, so that's probably one game I'm not going to even be bothered with. Game of the show was definitely Halo 4. My one to watch, I didn't play the game, but I stood behind someone playing it for a while and it looked incredibly good. I cannot wait for this game. It was very original. I liked the concept of it. And it looked very entertaining. It managed to keep me entertained looking at it. It's a game called Unfinished Swan for the PlayStation 3. It's sort of like a puzzle platformer where you can't actually see the environment. You have to throw paint like around the environment and it will splash on the walls and it will reveal where the environment is and where you can move on from there. It's a very unique concept. I like the idea of it and I can't wait to see more of it. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm sure Fred will do a video of his event. I'm going to go now because it's fairly late in the morning, but I just feel like shit after yesterday, so I'm probably going to go back to bed. Yeah, thanks for watching and check out the other videos. Thanks.